All right, welcome back into the channel. We're going back to the edge. I'm Jesse. Welcome to my draft limited channel. You might notice new mic, so no more tinny, nasty audio. Appreciate y'all for putting up with the start, but you don't know what everything's gonna look like when you start one of these things. Just learn as we go, just like with limited. So we'll join in the queue and get a draft going. I don't know if we'll be able to do this one all in one session. Might have to jump away for morning farmers market run, of course. But let's open something busted. And instead, we just can't help ourselves but to open unbusted rares. So we have weapons manufacturing. Honestly, a cool build around. So maybe it would be worth doing here, but this just requires a lot for limited sake. And while I think sometime in the format I would like to do this, I don't think I'm at that point yet. We've got a self-craft mechan that is good here. 3/4 artifact. You may sack another artifact when you do put a one counter on and draw a card, or on a creature and draw a card. I think I'm just going to start in blue or in green with a good 2-drop though. I like the sort of green ramp decks in this format, so this one helps you stay alive. It's great with, it's just well statted. Gene Pollinator would be awesome to get later. Otherwise, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Focus Fire is a good card as well, but I think I like Terra Botanist here. Ooh, now that is a good card. Stellar Reclaimer is a 5-mana 5/4 flying. When it enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast it. So this works great with like nutrient blocks or cryogen relics. I think I just want to take this. I think it's one of the highest win rate cards. There's no real green here. Dawnstripe Vanguard is slow but good. A very powerful effect. Depressurize, good removal spell. Another Focus Fire. So I don't like passing 2 of those to our left, but this is just too good of a card to pass. I think we'd love to be in like a blue-white shell with this, but it's good everywhere, I think. So yeah, a decent start here. Now we've got another pick here. Green already pretty dried up, so not feeling awesome about that route. We have the Monolith Circuit Feeder, 6 mana 4/4 when it enters. You get to pump a creature, and then you possibly get to kill a creature depending on how many artifacts you control. I don't really know that this play. Well, I guess there's some artifacts in black. I think I'm just going to take a Night Luminary here, though. It's just a good common that I think is solid for what we have going on. It keeps us in white. But I think there's a couple of reasonable picks here. Lost in Space, decent removal spell. Maybe this is the right pick. Not 100% sure what the stats say, but I'm gonna stay in white. All right, we've got a Space-Time Anomaly, which I don't think is especially good. We have a Godless Shrine. We have absolutely no green whatsoever. So let's just keep that in mind here. Mechanizoa is a decent artifact. It's a 6 mana 5/5 when it enters. Tap target creature and put a stun counter on it, but I think Orbital Plunge might just be best here. Maybe we can do something in the Boros space. I don't think that's really where we want to be, but I'm not 100% sure where we should be at this stage in the deck build. And Orbital Plunge is just a good removal spell. You're basically always getting a lander out of it. All right, ooh, and here we have that's kind of a late Virus Beetle, which I think might be just the pick. There's also Memorial Team Leader, which is a good card. I'm kind of going all over the place here because I'm not really 100% sure where I'm supposed to be. So kind of just trying to pick the best cards out of packs and find my lane later. I think Virus Beetle is just the best card in this pack, though. Memorial Team Leader is good in sort of a go wide aggressive strategy. We're not really that right now. We do have the Night Luminary, which is good. A Stellar Reclaimer doesn't really need any help. So maybe this is the right pick, but I think I just like Virus Beetle here. Okay. Next up, we have Alpha Rail is kind of late here. But I think we want to be in white for what look like our two better picks, but all of these picks are kind of bad. I haven't minded the swarm color when I've seen it. I don't think debris field pressure is very good personally. It's just 5 mana, deal 3, and then you get a 1/5 for putting 8 power into it. It's not enough for me. I don't mind swarm color in like a sacrificing deck. So if we have enough tokens that we can make and virus beetle type effects, that's not so bad. All right. Okay, here we have Starport Security, which I think is a fine card. A Plasma Bolt, which is just a good card. Zealous Display, not really interested. Momenon, I think. Let's go with the Gravport Monoist, though. It helps us with kind of the sacrificey theme. I think white-black could be a good spot to be here. And the 2/1 flyer that makes a 2/2 is just a solid rate. And it'll give us access to a lot of good removal later. Okay, here I like Exosuit Savior. If we're gonna do the ETB sacrifice and pick up stuff, this is just a great card. Like this with the Virus Beetle is awesome to get another card out of their hand. I'm not really very interested in anything else too. Another Momentum. I don't think that card's especially good unless you're really doing the artifact thing. All right, here we just have another Grappack Monoist. I think we're fine with that. I think we're probably not playing Orbital Plunge at this point, or the Terrabotanist. Let's get those into the sideboard. We'll just stay black-white for now. Grappack Monoist it is. We'd like to see more removal. Right on schedule. We've got some removal with Radiant Strike. I think at this stage we're looking for stuff that goes with our Stelly Reclaimer, though this is kind of just good on its own. It's a 5/4 flyer. It's not, it's nothing wrong with that. We'll take Radiant Strike here. Comet Crawler, I haven't been majorly impressed with, but it's playable. I do not like these cards at all. But that's pick 12. No Nutrient blocks. I really like a Nutrient block here. And Virulent Silencer, I don't think is a good card. Okay, next up, what do we have going on? I just incapable of pack oneing or pick oneing good cards. This is maybe the lowest win rate set card I've ever seen. We have Blade of the Swarm. I think it's a 5-mana or 4-mana 5/3. I don't think that's quite what we want. I think it's maybe just a Beamsaw Prospector, unfortunately, as mopey as that is. I don't know if there's a better spot where we should be here. I just don't think this is a very good card. I'd rather just have the 2-drop that makes a lander. Goes well with a little bit of a sacrificey theme. Maybe this is incorrect, but I mean, maybe Alpha Rail is just better, but we have a lot of our best cards in white. So yeah, I think we just go Beamsaw Prospector and keep on going. All right, here we do have an Ilvoy Infiltrator, which we're not really in blue at all, but I think I'd rather pair blue-black or blue-white with the shell that we have. So there's some potential there, but Auxiliary Boosters is just a perfectly fine card, and actually does go quite well with the Stelly Reclaimer if we were to be in a spot where we could cast this after having this in the graveyard. So I think that's probably where I'm going here. Next up, there's the Cryogen Relic that we wanted, but we also have a Nutrient Block, which is great. I think this is just a good card. We have lots of ways we have a couple ways, I suppose, to sacrifice stuff. So we'll want to keep prioritizing those. The 2-mana 3/2 would be great here. If we could get one of those. Red seems like it would be a good spot to be. I like both Valkyr Tripper and Terrapact Intimidator. Cryogen Relic. If we were in blue, which I didn't think there was really an opportunity to get into blue in the first pack. Maybe I missed it. Feel free to comment if you think that's where I should have been. I think Nutrient Block is just the pick here, though. So I'm not disliking where we are. Nutrient Block goes really well with the Stelly Reclaimer. It goes well with the Comet Crawler and the Swarm Color if we play those. Here it's just another Virus Beetle, I think. Just another way to restrict the resources of our opponent while also giving us things that we're happy to sacrifice with stuff like the Swarm Color, stuff like the Comet Crawler. I don't know that this is quite good enough. Unfortunately, like we have to do work to make this a 4/3. But if we can get a favorable trade off it, I think that's probably reasonable. Another Blade of the Swarm. Maybe I'm missing something here. I get that it gets warped cards, but I just think that's pretty niche. Next up, we have, I think the Sunstar Expansionist is just really solid. When this basically, if you're on the draw, this makes a lander, and whenever a land enters, it gets +1/+0 to end turn. So this is functionally attacks as a 3/3 most of the time. As you're getting it for 2 mana, so I just don't see a world where that's like not good in most cases. Mono Sentry is a good card here for something a little bit slower. It is an artifact for those synergies, which we don't really have a ton of, but I think it's a good card. It also helps you turbo out your spacecraft. Here we've got, that's just an obscenely late Ilvoy Infiltrator, in my opinion. We've got a Magus of the Moon, kind of a fun card that's basically fully irrelevant. Don't ever put this in your deck. Here I think it's just another nutrient block. I mean, we could maybe go Radiant Strike, but I'm kind of hoping to not have to. I think is the second Radiant Strike better than the second nutrient block? This is just so good with the Reclaimer that. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, that's not good. How about neither of them? All right, that was just a bad play on my part. Gotta make sure I pick choosing something here and hovering. I don't know how good we're going to be at doing the Void thing. If we are, this is probably reasonable. Maybe better. Maybe Blade of the Swarm is just better. Yeah, we'll go with the Skittermoth for the lower curve. I can't believe I just did that. It's not the second time that I've done something like that too. Gravblade Heavy is not really anything good. It's a late Sammy's Curiosity, but green seemed pretty closed up when we were drafting last time. And yeah, we got the Blade of the Swarm back, but we also got the Exosuit Savior back. I think we would rather just have a second Exosuit Savior here. Flying's good, and we get to pick up Virus Beetles, we get to pick up Sunstar Expansionists if we want to, any number of things that we can pick up. And now Punish It All. We got this is just so many Blade of the Swarms. It's absolutely crazy. Nothing real playable here. I'll take the uncommon, I guess. Feels like green-black maybe would have been a place we could have gone. But yeah, who knows? Get out of here. I don't want to pick you. Is it really finicky getting stuff to the sideboard for anyone else? It feels like it just does not want to go there whenever I put it there. And then Decode Transmission. Fine, I'll play it. All right, here that's a much better open. Tragic Trajectory is great. Cheap removal. And if we're good at doing the Void thing, which we hope we will be at this stage, I think we're hoping to get more black come in. This is just a very good card. Question on this is how we win. It seems like we're going to win by kind of restricting our opponent's resources and then winning with flyers. So Tragic Trajectory is good for one removal. Focus Fire is good as well. Radiant Strike is good. I don't know how wide we'll ever really be, but we'll definitely want to look for that coming back around. Or we'll just look for more Tragic Trajectories. Now, how many artifacts do we have? We have 4 artifacts. Okay, so not a lot, and we're going to try to sacrifice a lot of them. So this isn't really a mono Circuit Feeder deck, but I do think it's every deck is a Tragic Trajectory deck, so we'll take that happily. Now we're starting to get some better removal here. And we have a Starfighter Pilot as just a 2-drop. Whenever it becomes tapped, Surveil 1. We have an Emergency Eject. I don't know what the stats say here. I feel like giving a lander token is not as big of a cost as like the Stroke of Midnight effects are. Got a Timeline Color, which is a pretty decent card. And we have ways to sacrifice stuff, so I think probably something that's worth playing here. It's also a 2-drop. Helps trigger Void with the Warp and the ability to cast it from Warp. So let's go there. We have a Caesarean Void. Gosh, there's so many Illvoid infiltrators going around. It makes me really sad. We have a Caesarean Voidborn. Whenever this or another creature artifact we control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I think that's very good. Dawnstrike Vanguard. I don't know how often will we have multiple tapped creatures, so I think I'm inclined to just take the cheaper card, which will help to kind of drain life totals over time, which should be good in a deck that's trying to restrict the resources. Here we have a Cosmogoyf. Don't put this card in your deck. It's horrible in this format. It's tough because with a Wormwall Sweeper in the deck, I like Dawnstrike Vanguard better. But without, I don't really care much for it. I think just take this. I'll take the Vanguard. It's bigger. We kind of need some top end. Here, I think we just go another auxiliary boosters to kind of finish out the top of our curve. We would love some grab kills here. Oh, vote out's fine. We'll take a vote out. Caesarean Dirgecraft is maybe an interesting pick as well. I think I just prefer the removal. This card has a wide range of outcomes. Making it non-token is good, but a 5-mana Edict often means you're not picking up a super impactful creature, but it is still kind of a 2-for-1. So it's not horrible. Embrace Oblivion is nice as well as a way to sacrifice stuff and trigger Void. We will have a couple things, but I think we'd rather just have Nutrient Block. Let's see. Maybe nope. Removal's probably just better. How much removal do we have? Some, but I like the ability to take out Spacecraft with that. I don't think we're probably doing any of this. I'd love to do a Regast thing sometime. Radiant Strike we'll take. Thaumaton Torpedo. I mean, it's a trinket that we could sacrifice in a pinch. Not playing Dark Endurance. Focus Fire is a nice pickup here. Is good cheap removal. And then Temporal Intervention. I don't need Bad Thoughtseize. Okay. So we've got some cuts to make here. I think we are a little heavy on removal, ironically. We've kind of come around that way. Let's go T, do the little trick. Okay, or not do the trick. There we go. Okay, so you need to make 7 cuts. From here, I think we can... How many ways do we have to sacrifice stuff? I think only 2, right? The Swarm Color and the Comet Crawler, and then Embrace Oblivion. So, okay, maybe that's still okay. I don't think we're cutting any of our 2-drops. Exosuit Savior is good for picking stuff back up, and I think it's just a good value card in general. I don't think we want to get rid of one of our 3 ways to sacrifice stuff. For Stellar Reclaimer, the hits that we have are Thaumaton Torpedo, which is going to just be bad in this deck, I think, because we don't have any Spacecraft, so I think we just cut that. It's mostly just going to be picking up Nutrient Blocks, but I think it's still worth playing, just for the fact that at its best case, it's a 5-mana, 5/4 that's helped us pick up a Nutrient Block and an Auxiliary Boosters. We can, if we know that we're going to be sacrificing stuff, we can sacrifice the Auxiliary Booster to get this back. So a couple of different ways that we can play this. I don't think we need Decode Transmissions, although how many creatures do we have right now? 18? Probably can cut down on some creatures. This is a Dawnstrike Vanguard deck. I don't know that it is. We're not really going to be attacking a lot, I don't think, and that's usually the way in this deck that we would get tapped creatures. We do have Vote Out, which is nice, and maybe we just need top end. But I think we can probably cut like a Blade of the Swarm instead. I think that's fine. Let's cut I don't think we need 2 Radiant Strikes. So we have Focus Fire, Embrace Oblivion, 2 Tragic Trajectories, and 1 Radiant Strike. That seems like plenty. I don't think we need Decode Transmission, so maybe if we find we need more card draw, we can keep that. The Skittermaw, I don't think does enough here, unfortunately. The problem with those types of effects is they're really only good when you're ahead and doing the thing. They're really bad from behind because at base stats, it's just a 2/2 menace for 3, which doesn't quite get there, in my opinion. Grab Blade Heavy, we don't have that many artifacts. And so here we cut one more card. What could we cut? Kind of Crawler doesn't do a lot. Grappack Monoist is just a good card, I think. Huh. Maybe it's just a removal spell. Like, how wide are we going to be? I mean, we are pretty creature heavy. 15 creatures. Then maybe just cut a Focus Fire. Because often we're not going to be attacking into them with our smallish deck, which means the popping a blocker, like all of our attacks will look very suspicious, I think, for the most part. But this is just a good card also. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 removal spells. Maybe we just cut 1. 5 removal spells enough? Alright, I'm curious what the comments would have to say. Maybe it's just a 16 land deck. Is that true? Maybe it's just a Dawnstrike Vanguard, actually. These should be enough to be a good top end. If we feel like we're lacking some top end, maybe we can come back, but I think it's probably just we're going to win on the margins with cards that are efficient. 2-for-1s, right? Virus Beetles, Grappack Monoists, Exosuit Savior is a 2-for-1, Sunstar is kind of a 2-for-1. I think we just kind of get ahead on value and try to win that way rather than, I mean, if we're playing functionally a 6 mana, 5 or 4 or 5 lifelinker, and that's our big top end, we're better off probably doing other things. So, and I have a hard time cutting removal for anything. So don't forget, like and subscribe, I suppose, if you like what you've seen so far. Support the video. It really does help. This looks like a good card. We've got Nutrient Block on 1, Virus Beetle on 2. If we draw a land, we can get the Monoist on 3. If we don't, we can sacrifice the Nutrient Block for a card and see if we can draw a land, gain some life. So I like it. I also love this art. I think it's so fun. Okay, Mono Sentry is not the best, but I guess it doesn't really help. It doesn't really matter for us right now. It doesn't have reach, and all the stuff that we're going to care about is flying. Should have played lanes, but we'll go with Virus Beetle first. We'll happily trade off the Mono Sentry for a Virus Beetle at any point, but I don't think we're going to have to get to that point necessarily. I think we're probably going to mostly keep the Virus Beetle back for other stuff. Alright, now we're going to want to make sure that by the time we can warp this Esteli Reclaimer in, we've already gotten a nutrient value, nutrient block back. The problem is we don't really get any other value from warping this, so it's kind of a worst case scenario, but we will go planes. And all my stuff is flying, so I actually think I like my Virus Beetle better as something I can maybe pick up later than I like it as an attacker here. So I'm just going to play the Monoist, and we'll just plan to fly over them. And then no attacks. I think I like Virus Beetle just holding back here. What do they have for another holding priority with this? Is it like a combat trick or something? Okay, so we did not draw land, which is a bummer. So I think what we will do instead is start by swinging with the Monoist. Start chipping away. And then let's crack our nutrient block and try to draw a land. And then if we do, we'll play the Sunstar Expansionist. Oh, baby. Yeah, we'll take that all day. No land. Well, that's not ideal. But now we can, perhaps next turn... Oof. Okay, I don't like seeing the Survey Mechan. Okay, this is not so bad, though. So we can go Sunstar Expansionist first, make a lander, swamp, trigger Sunstar Expansionist, which doesn't really matter, but now we can we'll probably just Virus Beetle them here. Is it better that we get... that's actually an interesting question. Is it better that we get to 5 naturally, or that we get one of their last cards? Because they're already down to 3 cards. Putting them down to 2 makes it very unlikely that they're going to get to this survey mechan anytime soon. Right now it costs 7. So they're 3 lands away from it right now. I am sort of inclined to just say we Virus Beetle them and hope to get it naturally. And then we just stay patient. Yeah, and we got to get rid of a land. That's awesome, because now they're even further away from Survey Mechan. Now, what we don't want to see is like a Galactic Wayfarer, stuff where they can start to fix their mana even more and draw additional lands and get good board presence, because we don't really want to. Okay, dropped a land. That's not horrible. I mean, it means I don't know how many spells they have in hand right now, but it would be awesome if they just have a handful of lands, because we can eventually deal with that Survey Mechan. If we draw a land naturally, that would be best case scenario, of course, but we are unfortunately unable to do that, which does make this kind of awkward. Very awkward, in fact, because we would really prefer to, because even if we warp this in, we can't crack anything. So I think what we have to do here is just be patient. Maybe we can swing with the Sunstar Expansionist and get the Mono Sentry off the battlefield. I don't really necessarily want to trade that. Could push 2 damage by getting rid of the Sentry, but that doesn't feel very good either. Let's go to combat. Let's swing here. See what they do. Yeah, those blocks make sense. I think I'll just pass and see if they do something. See if I can get an extra card out of their hand. Okay, no big deal. Okay, we'll just pass then. I think I just wanted to clean up the board a little bit, because this Mechan, in the end, is not going to be hugely impactful. Just stranded another 5 mana. Okay, this is now only cost 6. Hissing Quagmire is a very good card, too. So, worth considering, because dealing 3 to any target, gaining 3 life, drawing 3 cards. Yeah, dealing 3, gaining 3, drawing 3 is hugely good. Okay, I'll just pop this lander. Sadly, having Hexproof is good design and very sad for me. Get planes. Here, I think we just want to play the auxiliary boosters, because it can't get got by the Survey Mechan. Neither can the Reclaimer, but there's also a chance that we could get the auxiliary boosters back at some point. I don't know what they have in hand, but it seems like they have something of value. And we just stay patient. Them being able to crack this is not good. It feels like it's going to be hard for us to win from there, but we do have a lot of gas in hand. If they want to take out our auxiliary boosters, that would be kind of awesome, actually. Looked like they were looking at it. Is it just a removal spell? Lost in space. Yeah. They'll keep our token on top. Alright, brutal. That's a good thing to do there. I would think they're just gonna crack the Survey Mechan here. Should be a bummer, but it's gonna happen eventually. Hissing Quagmire is gonna be a problem eventually too. Zoo Fleet. Okay, this is, well, it makes a 4. Actually, that's quite good in their deck, because they just make a 4/1 that has no abilities. Okay, so how do we want to attack here? +2. +1, +2. It costs 3. Whenever this creature, another creature, or artifact you control dies. Game 1. This has hexproof. I think this getting back a mono a sentry over and over is actually going to be quite bad for us. So I think we go warp this in, attach this here, swing, and then tragic trajectory be Zoophyte. Because I don't want to give them good targets for this. I'm saving the Radiant Strike for whatever big thing that they play eventually. Or a Boroid. Okay. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And we have no way to deal with that at all. That is just going to win the game. If they ever swing with it. Okay. Wow, that sucks. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. That's what a good draw. They absolutely just drew that off the top. I just have to wait for them to swing with it, but they're not going to swing with it. Why would they? Okay, sure. Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is just going to win on its own. It's just a... Gosh, this is so annoying. I can't believe how hard I was punished by taking out the Zoophyte. Okay, well, we won't give up just yet. Cast the Reclaimer. Get the Nutrient Block back and pray to someone. That sucks so bad. Maybe I need to be putting more pressure on earlier. Not 100% sure. Just bashed my mic. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, this is just obscene. This is just absolutely obscene. Gonna swing? Please? Please swing out? Please let me kill your Oroid? I mean, at this point, I don't even know if I can... I can't beat this Survey Mechan. Yeah, I mean... For them to stay patient, I guess. No, I don't really know that's the right move. Focus Fire. That's awesome. Okay, that's good. Actually cancel. Play this first. Sequencing, baby. Destroy you. Sack you. And now this is suddenly something. Because we have enough power now to actually get this. Now granted, it's going to take basically our whole board. But we can start to fight. We found a hard removal spell for their bomb. That's good. This is still a huge problem also, but what are you gonna do? You gotta keep fighting somehow. Hidden Quagmire, alright. It's fine. We'll block with a Virus Beetle and Focus Fire it. Let's do this. Okay, just to see what they have. And then we'll block it. That way, if they end up having something to save it, you can possibly make other blocks. If they just have a pump spell, we could put something with more power on it, like the auxiliary boosters or something, but wasn't needed, it seems. That having hexproof is really annoying, if I do say so. If I swung out here, I push 6 damage in the air, go to 7. Trigger Voidborn, go to 6. That's not quite enough. We need a little bit more. So I'm just going to hold. I think I just have to be patient. They have so many more cards than I do, but we just have to hope that we have... okay, that's not good. Now this can attack, and will. How do we get so much life? Oh, our nutrient blocks. That's fine. New blocks. How do we defeat the survey mechan? Now this is where that what's it called? Well, we defeat it by eventually not drawing lands. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. If I swing now, this is take 8, 9. If we kill that, I think we get aggressive here. I don't want to just chump attack, but I sort of think it's correct. On the back crack, they have us for 17. I think maybe this is just too aggressive and we need to just stay patient, but I think pushing that much damage is just good. And now we end turn. We don't have lethal. Command bridge is fine. Are they gonna pop it? No. Oh my god, I need to draw land. Wait, is this winning? If they have nothing, this wins, because we swing with both our flyers. They have to block. Oh my gosh, did we just win? How did that happen? Okay. It feels like they could have absolutely pulled that one out. But we will happily take the rank up. Alright, Platinum, welcome. Feels good to be here. Good lord. What a insane game. It feels like at any point they could have gotten aggressive and beaten us, but it's a good time to recognize when you have a window to try to win. If they don't have anything, it looks like they were drawing lands like we were, so that's how we got them. And Hawaiian shirt jump scare. Hello, I'm back. I had to step away for a full day, but with the magic of editing, you don't have to wait a full day. And also the magic of YouTube, you wouldn't have had to anyway. So we're back here on the edge. I will jump back into our event here. Oops, you're seeing all my stuff. Let's go Premier Draft right here. And let's get back into it. Let's reacquaint ourselves with the deck, actually, before we do this. I suppose, in hindsight, you don't need to reacquaint yourself with the deck. Just me. Okay, yes, I remember what we're doing here. Orzhov value stuff. Well, thanks for that. Hopefully, I can't imagine that has a lot to mess with in the algorithm world, but maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I'm new to the game. All right, opponent goes first. I think this is a good keep. We got a couple 2-drops, removal spell, top end card. You draw a couple lands, but that's okay. Beamsaw Prospector, I think, is probably the lead to kind of nab a card after they've lost some stuff in their hand. That looks a lot like a Plasma Bolt. Trajectory's a good draw. We'll just lead with a Swamp and pass. For this, okay, blue-red. This kind of smells like a removal spell, or a counter spell, perhaps. I think we just lead on... Well, we pegged him for a removal spell last, or a Plasma Bolt for last time, so I think we lead on the thing that gives us value when it dies. 2-1 Micolander is perfectly reasonable. Ooh, Momenon, don't like that. Alright, so here we have kind of an interesting choice. We could just kill the Momenon, which I think is totally a reasonable choice to do. I think we start by just attacking, and then we can either Focus Fire or Tragic Trajectory. I think we probably Focus Fire. I would like to get rid of it, just because as they start dropping more stuff. I don't really know that I'm going to want them to just get a ton of value. So I think I'll play that first, and then I'll just try to get in for some damage here. And if they attack, that is fine by me. I will just focus fire that. And then I can Virus Beetle. And so we can double spell here, nab a card out of their hand. If we get a land, great. If we get a spell, great. We don't really, yeah, okay. So pitch an island. And then what do they play on for? This will really be the, okay, yeah, that's kind of a nothing burger, honestly. So perhaps it wasn't such a big deal that we got rid of the last one, but I think it's still not the worst idea. So here we're just going to play the 2/1 flyer, the Grab Pack Monoist, and then I don't think we are under any real need to Tragic Trajectory that. It's just they don't have that many cards left in hand at this point, so you can't think there's that many triggers going on here. Now for this scenario, I think we stay patient. 1/1 counter is not the worst on this board in the end, making this a 3/4 versus making this a 2/4. So I think we just play out our Ox boosters and pass, and now we've got a pretty good board. Got a lot we can do with the Radiant Strike and Tragic Trajectory, so plenty going on here. Their 6th land drop. Okay, Codecracker Hound warped in. That's not ideal, I suppose, but not the end of the world. They got rid of a Nanoform Sentinel. Okay, so something better than a Nanoform Sentinel, which is not ideal. Nutrient Block. Sure. Okay. Put the counter on the Minin. Now, I don't think they're really in any position to attack here. We kind of still are, honestly. With the Monoist and the booster, I think I'm fine with either. Ooh, this is actually pretty good now. We can just pitch the Virus Beetle. How aggressive do we want to get? This was better than a 6-drop, so I don't think I want to get rid of everything. But is this an artifact? No, it's not. So I think what we can do... I think we can get kind of aggressive here, is we Embrace Oblivion this. We sack the Prospector, make a lander to give us something to do next turn, because that's not really doing anything. And I think we win through the air here. Great, that's no problem anymore. And now we just start going to town, swing for 5. And now we have Radiant Strike up. If the thing they cast here happens to be an artifact, that would be fine by me. If it's a spacecraft, it'd be awesome if they took a little time to crew it up and do all the things, but otherwise we have Tragic Trajectory, and I think that's perfectly fine as well. Draw card with Nutrient Block. So we'll just hold up kind of all our stuff. We'll hold up Radiant Strike if we want that. We'll hold up making a lander, or popping the lander token to get a plains. So we got plenty of options here. Cobb lands. That was the thing they got. I'm not concerned about that at all. But then they do get to double spell with the Codecracker Hound, so that's not nothing. Yep. But we still get to bang for 5 in the air, and then when that becomes tapped next turn, we'll be able to kill it with Radiant Strike, gain some life. So I'm still feeling good about where we are here. I think I swung pretty easily there. I missed 2 points of damage there because I'm never swinging with the Virus Beetle regardless. I'm not blocking. So little tip there for all the limited heads. Probably want to make sure you're seeing where you can push for damage. In this scenario, I'm not swinging with the Virus Beetle. It can't block either of these, so there's really no point in holding it back. So I'm actually hold on to the swamp. I got plenty of lands already, and I want to just be aware of discard effects. So I'm just going to swing for another 5 here. A Nutrient Block. The life gain from the Nutrient Block is very relevant, I think. Self-craft, mech in. Okay. That's a nice ability that can pop the lander. So that's definitely something. Putting the counters on the Hound is a good idea. They're gonna be able to go for a pretty big attack here. Alright, so now they're going to swing with all of these. I think we Radiant Strike the Menace creature. We could have maybe waited until our turn to do that, but I didn't want to take the extra 5 damage. We're just kind of racing at this point. But I don't know that we win this race right now. So we're gonna have to start ripping something hot here. Gotta get rid of that self-crack. Oh my gosh, that is a really good draw for them. The Sig Appraiser, but as a dog with Warp, just strictly better. I guess unless you care about zombies or artificers. Okay. Exosuit Savior is a lovely draw. Because now we can go... We can stay with our land, or our aerial assault. Go here. Pick up our Virus Beetle. Nab a card out of their hand. And we got an actual spell. That's awesome. And that has a relevant activated ability, so that's good to see. Not in hand anymore. Void is triggered. Oh yeah, permanent left the battlefield. Virus Beetle left the battlefield. That's sweet. Okay, so we can swing with these. Now at this stage, the Weftwalker Ardent probably represents more damage than the Self-Craft Mechan does. Well, I suppose this can deal 3 over the person's game. Maybe not. Maybe I just go ahead and take out the Self-Craft Mechan. We already have a lot of damage in the air here. So we've got him on the ropes for sure. Debris Field Crusher. Okay, we no longer have as much damage in the air. We passed this earlier, and you kind of see why, because now they can tap themselves fully down to station this. But that seems like a poor choice. We are going to take some damage here, though. This is where maybe that Weftwalker Ardent wasn't the better choice to take out. Now they can get this almost fully stationed. They have 8 mana, so they can pump this 4 times. Let's see, 1, 2. Oh, okay, what can we draw? I think we just take the 5 here. No, it's only a difference of 1 damage. If I can do 2 damage, I'll be able to do it elsewhere. Could get really punished for this, but I think we just jump. Or never can quite get away from the land bug, can I? So here, if they try to station this up, I can just block with the Monoist. If they don't station it up, they have a creature, I am okay because I can block the Hound. So I think I push 1 damage here, put that there, and play a land and say go. Really needed to draw a spell there. Them ripping a bunch of Codecracker Hounds off the top is not really what we wanted here, but they had the Hounds to find each other, so plenty of things that they could do, or that they could have had there. At this stage, I think you can just make the 2 lander tokens. I don't really care. Oh, that's an artifact. Oh, that's a punt. That's a huge punt. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. That was very sloppy play. If we do not do that, I don't know if we win next turn because we don't know what we would have drawn, but we absolutely could have. Yeah, okay. That was really a poor choice. I needed to make that a 4-3. So, one loss. That's tough. Feels like we had an opportunity there, but ultimately just couldn't quite draw what we needed to. You could maybe make an argument that the correct thing to pick up with the Exosuit Savior was the auxiliary boosters to make another 2/2, but that doesn't feel super impactful, and we did get a spell from them with the Virus Beetle, so perhaps not. But maybe I think taking out the Ardent might have been a better play than anything else. Is that my dog trying to squeeze his way in? All right, this just doesn't. It's very slow. Could really get run over here. I don't know if we can pitch it, honestly. Hi, Wallace. Welcome, dog. All right, nothing suspicious happening behind me. Definitely not a wife trying to sneak in to grab something. All right, I don't know if I can keep this, to be honest. I think it's too slow, but it's 3 lands, 4 spells, 2 3-drops. I don't know if they really go crazy here and get super aggro. That's going to be a problem. It's a little bit of a problem, but drawing lands is not going to help us get out of that. And wow, okay, already blitzing out a 4-drop. It's not a good sign for us. Okay, Grab Pack Monoist is okay. Maybe we go Comet Crawler instead, though, to get that going. When it attacks, we could possibly sacrifice the mono or the Grab Pack Monoist if we so choose. Virus Beetle. Okay, I think we pitch a swamp here. We have stuff to do the next 2 turns anyway. Yep, sure. Sure, okay, that's fine, and perfect, never punished. So we're just gonna go Plains, go to combat, swing for 2 lifelink, and then play out a Monoist and say go. And we've got 2 boosters coming. They are gonna be a long time before they get this all crewed up. That is a huge problem, of course. Mechanist Cinder, whenever another artifact you control enters, create a 2/2. You'll note that everything they've played so far has been an artifact, so we're going to need to pull a removal spell. Of course, we'll only draw lands. We've drawn 1 spell this entire turn, or this entire game so far, but we remain undeterred. I think, are we racing here? I think we might be racing here. All of our stuff flies, except for the Comet Crows, I guess, except for one of my 3 creatures, so it's maybe a silly comment. Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of damage here, but if they swing out, they are going to take some damage on the back end. So they've got, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of an aggressive attack from the Monoist, because this is a pretty decent double block on the scan ship. But also, yeah, I mean, all I had to do is do that, and it's no longer that good of a block. That Mechanist Assembler is just a huge problem. We don't have... We're running out of gas a little bit here. This is an interesting choice on where to put the 1/1 counter. I think you could make an argument for either the Selfcraft Mechan or the scan ship, personally. I don't think I would put it there because it's such a big target for removal, regardless, but... Oh, not swinging. Okay, or just doing 5. Okay, that's fine. It's a safe attack. They have... Oh, they're either holding up a 2-mana artifact like a Virus Beetle or... Oh, good gracious, Ion. The world's nastiest non-heat. Whatever the opposite of a heater is what I'm on right now. As far as drawing goes. I feel like I haven't drawn a spell in 4 years. Alright, we've got a lot of blockers though now. The problem is they have way too many cards in hand for us to feel good at all about this situation. Any artifact is bad news. We have to assume they have something here. We don't really have anything worth removing at this stage. So it's sort of a... We're definitely not in a very good position here. But you know, we have outs to get something good. All right, sure. Code transmissions. They're reasonably low life here. I mean, 12 is plenty, but we have a lot of flyers here. That Mechan Navigator is a really good play for them. can just overstation this as much as they want. That seems like the wrong place. I guess I could put this on the Comet Crawler at any time and start swinging for lifelink. Nutrient block is fine, I suppose. But I can also Exosuit Savior back my Comet Crawler, so I think I can do everything if I do that, right? I have 3, 3, 1. Yeah. So if I play Plains, I can Exosuit Savior back my Comet Crawler. Play the Comet Crawler again, and then Nutrient Block. And say go. Now they just drew 2 more cards. That is a bad sign. That is a very bad sign. It's a pretty loose attack, but it's probably fine. It ultimately... So this is take 3, 8, not... Yeah, this is take 13. Jesus. Alright, I guess I'll just block that. And get a... Block that. So this is take 7. And they have a 6/6 on board. Pretty good. Pretty good draw. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome draw from this. I can sack that. Gain 3 life. That's good. We can... What's the ward on this? Ward 2. Yep. Perfect! That was a good... That was a pretty decent draw. Let's target his ward, I know. Alright. There we go. And here we go. Here. And then they have to discard a card. And they discard a land. Fine. Hold. Perhaps. Okay. So they're digging, which is bad, of course, because they're drawing more cards. Because when you're at this stage of the game, and you really don't want lands anymore, the discarding of this is really not that high of a cost. So this becomes basically just tap draw card. Now, granted, there's some downsides to that, like a Pirate's Beetle. Okay. That's not nothing. Okay, okay, we're holding. Go another Exosuit Savior. They have a stop. Where do they have priority here? That's a spell of some sort. So I will pick up my Virus Beetle and force it out of their hand. And we see what it is. Like they're looking at their own thing. Sure, yeah. I mean, it's okay. That was happening regardless, and they surveilled on top. I feel like we're just waiting for the slow embrace of death at this point, but we are technically holding here. Everything. They have so much ability to draw gas here. They have 17 cards left in library, so they're at very little risk of milling out. I just need to figure out a way through here, and I just don't know that I will. Radiant Strike is lovely. Now the question is, are they getting more value from the 2/2s or from having this good air creature? And I think the answer is that we maybe have a way through via the air raid. So perhaps we do this and we take out the scan ship. The scan ship is also enabling them to draw a bunch of cards. So I think I do that. Ooh, no priority swap either. Go here. And then, let's see, can I go really aggro here? What they had, this is 4, 9, 8, 12, okay. No, I can't go super aggro here, but I can go a little bit aggressive. I'll keep that back and send these two. Pushing a little bit of damage in the air, and I'm going to decline that. They're chumping, that's good. Because they don't have any flyers, and I don't think they can kill me this turn. I mean, surely they have a chance to kill me, but I have lethal in the air. If not, assuming they don't get rid of both Exosuit Saviors. So if we see a swing out here, that's pretty okay. And again, this is a scenario where, yep, okay, swing out is not so bad. So we're going to put it on something that doesn't matter to them right now, which is anything that blocks. So we go 1 here, we go 1 here, we go 1 there. I mean, if they have another Mouth of the Storm, we get crushed here, but in theory they would have probably played that beforehand. So I think we do that to eat as much damage as we can, and then they have to have a couple of removal spells here. Okay, not ideal. Not ideal. Not ideal. Oh, that's terrific. Absolutely terrific. And we're drawing lands. So now they swing with the Comet Crawler. And they're just gonna gain 2. Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. Tragic Trajectory is not enough. Tragic Trajectory is not enough right now. Any artifact of mana value 4 or greater kills us. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Wow. That's really tilting. Okay. So, we haven't drawn especially well. We've had our moments where we could maybe get through. But, yeah, ultimately that was a little bit of a tough loss. Just gotta keep moving forward. It's good in these moments to see where you could have played better, where you could have played differently, where you were kind of stuck. At this point, I think we had to stay as patient as we were for a while. Okay, that's disgusting with the Virus Beetle. I think we kind of had to stay as aggressive or as patient as we were with everything. I think we gained life at good times too, or gained life by chumping. We drew reasonably well in the middle there, or we could kind of gun up the board and force them to make a move. Green priority stop. That seems silly. What is that? I don't know what that would have been. It's not a creature. I don't know what a 1 mana green spell is in this format. But ultimately, I think some of it comes down to is there any scenario where we can beat a Wrath? I'm not sure. If we pushed a little bit more damage, they wouldn't have been able to Wrath for 6 and get a thing back. But then they had 2 more creatures off the rip. They may have had them in their hand already. All right, so I'm going to swing for 1, and then I'm going to Exosuit Savior in and pick my Virus Beetle back up. Boop. And now you're seeing the power of these Exosuit Saviors, as it just gives you so much ability to be a menace. They had to get rid of a Diadrine earlier because ostensibly they don't have white mana. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. It looks like it might have no mana. A little fuzz on my nose. Okay, they've got a forest, so they've got something here. I think we're finding that our win cons are often through the air. Galactic Wayfarer is good. That'll help them get more mana or get more stuff going. I think we just swing and play a Virus Beetle. Make them discard again. They're really going to be bummed when they see the next Virus Beetle and the next Exosuit Savior. This is a good example of a matchup where we are playing a small resources game. We do better on the margins with little 2-for-1s like Exosuit Savior, which is basically draw ETB draw a card because we pick up a thing that doesn't really have that much value on the board. Virus Beetle, ETB, drain your opponent of a resource, right? We get rid of another thing that has a lot more value as the game goes along. So we're going to try and restrict their resources as much as possible. We're probably going to focus fire their Galactic Wayfarer. Well, no, we won't. We probably will just leave it. If they want to swing with it, they can. A 3/3 is not really that big of a deal, and we have a lot of creatures in hand, so probably better to stay a little patient. Playing another forest. Yeah, we probably want to keep these for the things that are big and scary that we end up having to deal with. Ooh, Larval Scoutlander is a very good card. Basically a Harrow effect. So sacrifice a lander or a land, but you're way ahead if you're doing a lander. Yeah, 2 lands, that makes sense. Ramps them to 6 next turn, possibly 7 if they have a land. They're just going to station. Okay, sure. So here we can go here, Virus Beetle, get another card out of their hand, and wait till you see my next trick, opponents. You're not gonna like it. Let's see, what do we got? This is okay, and that's a removal spell. Not a lot you want to remove here, and we'll pick up you, Mr. Virus Beetle. There you go. I'll have him discard like 5 cards over the course of this game. So this is nice. We have a couple ways to deal with this Scoutlander once they get it fully stationed up. They have 6 mana right now, so there's lots of ways that they can send in the pain. But I'm wondering how they're going to play this, given that they know we have a Virus Beetle in hand. So it's kind of risky for them to play out two things from their hand. They either want to empty their hand or they want to leave at least 2 things in their hand. So it kind of puts them in a weird spot here, because if they leave one thing out, okay, another spacecraft is not something we care very much about at all. And in fact, this is kind of a hidden downside of these spacecraft, because look at this. They have 2 creatures here. Oh, okay, well, they are going to be able to station up one of them now. If I were to get rid of some of their creatures, their spacecrafts are suddenly not useful anymore. And this Sedge class seed ship, it looks like, oh, they're going to put anything they want from the battlefield onto their hand, or from their hand onto the battlefield. But like, they already have 6 mana. They already have, like, they don't have any cards. So like, sure, they could, in theory, do that, but it hardly feels like something that is a useful thing for them to do. In our case, it's bad just because it's 4/5. So we're just gonna get their last card. If it's a land, well played. Nope, another Diadream. Booyah. Suck it. And here, we just go... I don't think do we want to embrace Oblivion, the Sedge class seed ship? I think we do. Do they have more lands than us? Oh, they do! Hell yeah! Yeah, I think we do this. Or we get aggro. No, we don't need to get aggro here. We have the resource game going. I will... Oh, you know what? I can sack the lander. I can keep my Virus Beetle, actually. Guarantee you. 4/5 in the air is very bad for my board. But 3/3 in the air, that's not so bad. 4/4 in the air, which is what it's about to become with the Drix Fate Maker, that's not so good. But if they swing with it, we can hit them back for 4 in the air as well. And soon we'll be able to kind of win that battle with the Focus Fire. Drix Fate Maker is a little bit of a problem. Trample is pretty good against us right now because a lot of our stuff is kind of dinky. So we'll need to draw something good here eventually, but at this stage, I think we're doing all right. Put a 1/1 counter on something. Scoutlander, fine. Take 4. Yeah, that's fine. We will allow that. Plains is not ideal, but can't complain that much. I will play it out for the Sunstar Expansionist. Just I didn't really need to do that in hindsight. We'll just go here. Take 2. Or take 4. I don't know how effectively we race right now. I mean, it looks pretty clear that they've got somewhat of an advantage just with power on board. I think we Focus Fire that, right? and then that seems like a pretty bad trade for them, right? Because they get rid of their trample enabler. Now they can be jumped into oblivion, unless this is a big flyer or something, or a big reacher. Both! Terrific. Terrific. Alright, let's draw our big flyers. Let's draw our big things. 10 plus. Okay. So we have 6 power on board. They have 8 power on board. If they play a 6 power creature next turn, they have lethal. Seems unlikely. So I think we just do that. And then we see what they have. They swing out. We're feeling good. We're feeling good with a lot here. They need to present a flying blocker. Sometimes you just have it. They see the line, make them see it. Yeah, they do. And do they swing? Wait, they don't have lethal. They don't quite have lethal. I miscounted. I thought this was 6 power. It is not. Or maybe I thought I had less health than I did. Okay, so we are here. We basically just need a probably they can't swing with both. They can swing with one. Dead to a removal spell regardless. And here, let's see, 1/1 counter, 1 counter, jump, jump, and then I have to eat 1 damage. I'm not a huge fan of these tragic trajectories. I wonder if I can get a virus beetle through here, though. Basically trick them into blocking so that I can tragic trajectory something. Okay, good. So now I can tragic trajectory something. Basically build your own. And if I take out the rescue skiff, then I'm presenting lethal next turn. I have to chump the Grove Strider. If they can put a counter on it, fair game. You got me. Otherwise, I just have to block. Well, no, I don't have lethal because I have to block with one of the. I have to put at least 1 toughness on either the Wayfarer or the Fate Maker. So I go here and there. I have 2 damage that I can do, and I win with an auxiliary booster, I think, unless they have a removal spell for the Savior, in which case I'm dead. Am I dead? Looks like I'm dead. Looks like I'm pretty dead. Yeah, for sure. Super dead. I won't do it. Alright, they drew the 6 power creature when they needed to. That is a tough loss. We'll pack it up here. Not a great showing from this deck, but I don't know that this really had a ton of game in it. We really pulled that first one out of our keister, and then it didn't draw very well, which maybe makes sense. It's playing a very small game. You could maybe make an argument that this is a 16 land deck just because this is really at risk of flooding out. We don't really have a ton of card draw. Our card draw is more in the form of picking back up our virus beetles and doing stuff that way. We really didn't draw our removal spells when we really needed to, but I think, or maybe we just had the wrong type of removal spells, spells, right? Maybe there's an argument to be made that this needed one fewer Tragic Trajectory and one more Radiant Strike. I think that's probably a good takeaway here. We were pretty good at triggering Void, but we lacked a little bit of like real synergy to be able to get it done. So 1-3, not what you want to see, but I'll post these so you know that I'm not just sending you the good stuff. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe if you hit the follow button, I'll draw a few more spells and a few fewer lands in those middle games in the future. But I'll catch you on the next side. Peace.